Good afternoon, YouTube. It's me, always George Page, aka the Emperor. Female Bodybuilding Talk coming to you live on YouTube. Well, anyway, it's another show that's in the books, and that is the Tampa Bay Pro. And you know, this is a score sheet from the show, and if you look at it, you see how they numbered the women who placed in the top. I think it's the top 6, top 5, and it's pretty good. You know, it's pretty good placings. You know. And I have my predictions. I have my thoughts. But like I said, you can't always predict how these shows really go. So yeah, I guess. So these are the ladies who made the top 6 at the Tampa Bay Pro. And you know what? You know, it's somewhat. I think I knew some women I most definitely felt it was gonna make it. Others, I was kind of surprised. You know how they're gonna do. But like I said, we're gonna get started here is with the winner, Mona Porcella from Canada. As you know, I'm a fan of female bodybuilders from Canada. I posted her pic in my page, which is on Facebook, which is female bodybuilders in Canada, and this is a great thing for her. I mean, this is redemption for her. I mean, you know, last year was difficult for a lot of competitors, especially competitors outside of the United States. You know, she competed at the Most Fest Pro, the Most Fest in Romania, and then turning around, coming here and competing at Tampa and winning the show, and now going to Olympia. And like I said, I'm a fan of Miss Porcella. I remember she doing an interview she did with AJ over at Facebook about the channel. How she mentioned that she had a brother passed away because of a heart condition, and I can understand that because that's happened to my brother. And I think I'd like to really do an interview with her, but I know she's a busy lady. She's getting ready. I wish, I'm just hoping maybe if she catches video, she might share it. Maybe she might contact me. But like I said, congratulations to Monia for now she's going to head to Olympia. And and this is a great opportunity for her. I think she, depending on how the lineup's going to be, how it's going to look, she might do pretty well. Now here we have one Miss Hunter Henderson, and this young lady out the gate has been doing pretty good, making her bodybuilding debut as an amateur at the Omaha Pro just about a month or so ago. Then no more than a week later, she turns around and she wins USA's, earning her pro card. And now coming to the Tampa Bay Pro and picking second. And I probably thought that she, should have skipped this show. But, maybe good thing she didn't. But, like I said, she still needs some things to improvement. She has a great physique, I ain't gonna lie. And I was talking with some ladies on social media who were following the show. And, just letting you, if she came in, I like to say, drier. And what I mean by dry, I mean that if she pushed out a little more water and the conditioning, she probably would have won the show. I think she could have won it. And I think it was up between her and Mona. And, one thing is now that has become a professional bodybuilder, she might need to switch coaches. Work with somebody who work with some women who are pros. You just like I said, she just started bodybuilding at the Omaha, just won her pro card, and I think if she really works on it, she might come a long way. There's also Savannah's coming up. And Savannah is the last show before the Olympia for any opportunity to compete to compete in the Miss Olympia. So if she can make the improvements by a month, just a month away, she could maybe make the Olympia. Now here is a lady I'm fond of. She's also from Canada, but she lives in Florida, and that's one Miss Janine Lakowski. And Janine looked pretty good this show. I mean, she, we all know about the situation happening in her last show she was in, but this show, I think, really should be her show. But she lives in Tampa, as I said, but she looked pretty good. But also, here's a bonus in there, she won Best Poser at the Tampa Bay. She won Best Poser in the Linda, but she won Best Poser at the Tampa Bay. And especially Mona Porcella is a good poser. She beat out Mona, she beat her out, and congratulations to her. Hoping maybe we might see her maybe do one more show. As Savannah's last show, and it's an opportunity to make the Olympia before the cutoff. And here we have is Julie Furry, and Julia Furry is there's been a lot of talk about her. As you know, she switched to bodybuilding. She's a winning strength ambassador like Janine, and also Mona. And there was talk that she probably was going to make the top 3, but she took 4th place. And, she has the size, but it's about conditioning. Well, I'm hearing a lot of condition. And whatever improvement she needs to do, like, she has to go back. If she goes back to Switzerland, she might have to do a quarantine. But while you're here, just stay here, do the Savannah, see how you do. Savannah's a month away. I know Winter Strength or Jake Woods, something like that, would try to find you a place to stay, and you can do your workouts and everything like that, make your improvements. You might do pretty good. Now here we have Stephanie Flesher. As you know, Miss Flesher switched from physique to bodybuilding. She made her bodybuilding debut at Chicago Pro, which took 3rd place, and she took 5th at this show. And like I said, she has a great physique. I think, I remember she was doing an interview with AJ Roberts. Her shoulders, her traps. Look at her shoulders, her traps. But what she needs to do is she still has that physique look. She's still a physique in weight, kind of big of a physique competitor. But the upper body of her is a screaming bodybuilder, but the lower part is still screaming physique. I think she might need to bring in more size and definition in her legs, and basically around the quads. I think, I know people talk about condition, but like some women say size does, where women don't want to say it, but it's truthfully, size doesn't matter. So, if she can bring her size in her legs, she might do pretty good. So like I said, this Savannah, there's still the Savannah, coming up. So I might be sure she might jump on. Now, here we have as a lady I'm a fan of. I'm so happy for her. I've been talking to her on social media, congratulating her, and that's Miss Tina S. Williams. And I'm a big fan of both of her and her husband, Mr. Big Keith. Reached out to her, been talking about social media, and I think this was a great show. This was a redemption for her. As last year she wanted to do. You remember last year she wanted to do the Tampa Bay show, but she had to. She skipped that show. And she missed out on maybe making Olympia by 1 point. It's like my favorite movie, Fast and Furious, when Vin Diesel said, "Beat a yard or beat a mile, a win is a win." And sometimes when you miss that yard or miss that mile, you're not going to win. But like I said, congratulations to her. I'm hoping she might do the Savannah. If she do Savannah, it's all up with how she's going to look. That's a month away, and whatever tweaks and improvements you need to make, she got the time to do it. So like I said, I'm a big fan of Tina Williams, and I hope she does pretty good. And I call her, she's the clone of Melody Specco, but she's like Wonder Woman to me also. She might do, what, she'd be great. You should cast her as Wonder Woman. And here is Eva Dunbar, and she's making her bodybuilding debut. And, did pretty good. You made the top 10, number 7. And, that's, she has a pretty impressive physique. But like I said, whatever tweaks she needs to make, she has the time. If she's going to think about doing another show like Savannah, she need to go ahead and hit the ground running. As you know, she just made her pro debut. And I figure a lot of women who are just making their pro debut, they need to start working with guys who work with pros, trainers and coaches that work with pros. I know you have your own trainer, your own coach, but sometimes it's time to level up. Like ASAP Rocky. You gotta you're on a new level, and you need whatever improvements you need to make. You need to go ahead and start now, especially if you think about going into Savannah. And here is Haley McGrath. And Haley McGrath has been competing in quite a few shows. Last year, she competed at the Tampa. She was one of 7 competitors, and she placed 6th at that show. And she didn't do too well at Chicago. And you know what? This is a competitor, I would say, you either have to do this. She might need to not skip the bigger shows. I'm going to tell you this, skip the bigger shows. I know Chicago is a great opportunity. Even though she did pretty good this show compared to her last placing at the Chicago, I think I would say do shows like the New York, the Puerto Rico, or the Omaha, or the Lindas. Chicago and Tampa Bay are bigger shows, more women, more bodies. And if you come in the top 6 condition, you're not going to do too well. Now, here is a lady from my home state of North Carolina, and this is one Miss Brittany Larson. Now, she's from Rayford, North Carolina, which is in Hope County. That's just a hop, skip, and jump from my county, Robinson County. And I was pretty impressed by her. She has a impressive upper body, great physique. But the thing is her legs. You can really see her legs is a bit small, undersized. I think if you look at someone like, most definitely look at someone like Mona Pasella and Hunter Henderson, you gotta really bring in your lower body. You have to be, everything has to be on set. And maybe she might need to think about switching divisions. I know she competes in bodybuilding, but I think she has some of the criteria that physique. I think that might be really the division for her. Now, if she can bring her legs by the time Savannah, she might do pretty good. But I think she has a way to go. She's still relatively new as a pro bodybuilder, but maybe she might need to think about it and maybe switching divisions. Now, here's a lady I've been quite fond of. I did my interview with her. I think she's a beautiful lady, great competitor. That's Shayna Beverly. And she's been through a lot. She has some issues with her knees. I can tell you that knees, oh my God. My knees sometimes kill me because I got arthritis in both of them. And she just looks impressive. I felt certain if she came in the condition, she's going to make top 5. But she got 10th place, and that's not bad. You're in the top 10. It could be worse. But we were talking on social media. Whatever things she needed to do, she had the time. Savannah's not that far away. Whatever tweaks she needed to work on, I think she can do pretty good at Savannah. I think, Tampa, this was a big show. 21 women, 21 bodies. It was a big show. And, it was just, it just was it was miss, I would say. But I think she's a lovely lady. She has all the criteria. Just whatever improvements she needs to make, I hope she can make them by the time Savannah gets here. And I think she will do pretty good at that show. I definitely believe she does pretty good at that show. Now, here's a lady I follow on social media, and that's one Miss Gabby Vega. And she didn't do too well. She didn't crack. I was felt like she was gonna crack the top 10. Possibly crack the top 10. But she got the unlucky number of 13. And she has impressive physique. She did pretty good at the Linda. And this is another lady I think should skip any of the bigger shows next year. Puerto Rico, Omaha, any of the Lindas, the New York maybe, will be better shows for you. I think a lot of women who have certain, look or style, I think some shows are better for them. And Tampa is it's like I said, it's about condition. It's a bigger show. They want certain type of women, and this is, I think it wasn't the show for her. Now, here's a lady who I follow on social media. I'm a fan of. I think she's a great lady, great competitor. That was Miss Pauline Nelson. And I saw, as you saw on the score sheet, she D and F, which is did not finish. And I reached out to her and said, I wonder what's happened. What happened? Why? She never responded. I reached out to some other ladies that said, this didn't say what really happened. So I'm not going to speculate. But stuff like this happens every now and then. I remember I was talking with Janine Lakowski when she was competing at the Savannah, and she had a problem with her back. And it's just, she still competed. But sometimes some things happen that you have to say, you know what, I think it's better for my health and myself to take a step back. But I can think Pauline is a great competitor, a great lady. I'm a fan of her. I love my Melanin Sisters of Muscle. I hope that she might do the Savannah. She got a month. She's been prepping since last year and prepping to this show. I always thought she was gonna make. I saw pictures where she was in the first call out, and I felt like she was gonna make top 5, if not top 3, because she has done that before. When she debuted back in 2018, she made top 3, and then back in 2019, the same. But she skipped 2020 because what was going on in 2020. But like I said, I hope she consider, because she could just sit it out, but there's still Savannah and an opportunity maybe to make the Olympia. So I hope she's thinking about that. Now, here is the list for the women's physique. I'm not going to stay too long on this one because the fact is, it's 31 women. 31. That's a lot. And I made my predictions and my comments about a few women that I recognize. And this is the second sheet. Oof, whoa, it was a stacked house. There's some women who I think they should think about switching to bodybuilding at that show, maybe, but you know how it is. I think as I was talking to some ladies, some women would rather take low placements and try to take a shot at female bodybuilding. Now here we have is the top 6 for this show. And the winner is one Miss Alenka Fakovicova from Fakovicova. I don't say her name, just Lenka. Alenka from the Czech Republic. And she competed at Chicago and took second place. And now she won this show. Now she's going to the Olympia. So that's good. Coming here to Tampa, winning, and then going to, Olympia. It's pretty good first one shot. Now, next to her in second place is one Miss Elizabeth Bradshaw. And they both were, in the top 3 at the Chicago. And Miss Bradshaw, she, now she took second place this show. I don't know if she's going to make the Olympia or not. I don't know how women's physique is different from women's bodybuilding. As you know, the women's bodybuilding go by a point system. I think, I don't know how they do it with women's physique. I think the winner of the show goes to the Olympia, and I don't know what happens to the other ladies. It's still, like I said, it's still a noose division to me. And I'm still kind of, like I said, still a bit growing to it. Now, third place is Ashley Jones. And Miss Jones, I don't know much about her. So, I'm not going to make too much comments. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip on to the next person. Now, fourth place is Janine Feldman. And last year, Janine did fairly all right. She didn't do too good at the Olympia, but, she lives in Tampa. So, she actually lives in Miami. So Tampa's not that far. Tampa's a good way from Miami, depending on how the crow flies. And she was going to do the women's. I remember I did my commentary, my video for Tampa a few days ago. She was on the list for the women's 40+ physique division class, but she decided just to do the women's physique. I remember saying women's open, physique. And she did pretty good, taking fourth place. So that's pretty good. Congratulations. Now, fifth place is Christina Bryant. And Christina, she's this is pretty good for her. Making top 5 is good for any competitor. That means you're top 5 in your division, especially this show. And whatever improvement she might need to do, that's good. I don't know if they're having any women's physique at the Savannah. I think they do. I believe they do. If she might do Savannah. That's up to her. And taking 6 is a lady. Like I said, her name is Dusuka Dawson. If I got a name right, I'm sorry, but I was going with Miss Dawson. And I think she looks impressive. She's an attractive woman, great physique. I think whatever tweaks she needs to work on, she needs to work on them soon if she's thinking about doing any shows like Savannah. Like I said, as you know, with physique, they have more shows compared to women bodybuilding. There was another show that was competing at the same time as the Tampa Bay. As you know, the women's physique was the first show for the Tampa Bay. They had a show on Friday, so they already competed. They're done. So she's probably already working on anything she needs to focus on. And there's more shows for them because IFBB supports women's physique over female bodybuilding. I say this quite often. IFBB walk behind quietly women's bodybuilding and stop them in the heart. That's my quote from Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins. I love that quote. But like I said, this is the women's physique division, and these are the top 6 ladies. And here's a lady who I'm a fan of. We've been talking on social media. I'm hoping to do an interview with her soon. And I was Miss Tracy Rugg. And, she made a comment when she saw my video. She said, I pour salt in her soul. But I'm sorry, Tracy. I didn't mean pour salt in your soul. Maybe next time I put sand. she's a beautiful lady. She has a great physique. She competed at Chicago as a bodybuilder, but she went back to the division which is physique, and I think that's better for her because I think she did pretty good at Chicago, placed in top 5. Honestly, placed in top 5. But I think she's more of a physique competitor. She has all the qualities. Her condition's pretty good, but it's just that I think honestly, I say she lacks the size, but she has a great physique, and I think this was a greater. She didn't do too good in this class, but I'll tell you what else she did better at. And and here's a lady that I'm following for a while. I think I'm really getting very interested in that. Is Young Kim. Young Kim, if I got it right. Miss Kim, she is more. She didn't do well at Chicago, and she didn't do well at this show either. But she's more bodybuilding. She is physique. She has some of the qualities that, look at her quads. I think being Asian, she's from South Korea. Being Asian, it's just. I think she might need to think about switching to bodybuilding. I mean, it's especially Winning Strength. I think Winning Strength want to get a market in the Asian in the Asian region. They already, as you know, they have at least 2 competitors of Asian descent. One lady who is, I think Helen Davis, who competed at this show also, and I think she would make a great Winning Strength ambassador. She's from South Korea. South Korea is, as we all know, is been a USA ally for the past 60 years. I think one thing she should have done was she shouldn't color her hair blonde. I don't think, if you are natural blonde, be a natural blonde. If you're not, keep your regular hair color. I think she looked better with her hair darker. That might have, and also she has the qualities of a female bodybuilder. I can see, some qualities. What's my advice to her, and this is just, I'm not an expert, I'm just giving some advice as a fan. Skip next year competing. Come back in 2023. Work on your size and your conditioning, and switch to bodybuilding. You might do a lot better. I know some of the ladies would rather go down to the ship than switch over to bodybuilding, but I think it would be better for you in your competition history, just to switch. Now, this is the list, and this is from the women's 40 plus physique division, physique class. So, class, not division, class. And there were some ladies who I follow. Who was on here, and most definitely is one Miss Tracy Rugg. She took 2nd place, and I don't know the other ladies that well, so I'm not going to be on them too much. But congratulations to Tracy. I mean, this was a good thing. She, this was a better class for her. I think a lot of women who are a certain age and they're still developing. I think this thing is. When you hit a certain age, I think sometimes women might hit a wall. I've often said like this: women who are in their, like I said, in their mid to late 20s, early 30s, and early, maybe mid to late 40s, do pretty good. And physique is different from female bodybuilding. It's more with them. It's more about conditioning. It's more about size. And she did pretty good in this class. I think this might be the class she might need to maybe focus on. I know I'm putting more salt in your wounds, Tracy. I don't mean to, but maybe next time I switch to sand, like I said. But I think this is a pretty good show for her. And one lady who I'm a fan of, I think she's a beautiful lady. We did an interview with her last week, and she's a beautiful lady. One Miss Daphne Carter, and she competed in 2 shows. Like Tracy, they both double dipped. They did the women's physique and the women's 40 plus physique. And you know what? She did a lot better in this show than she did at the women's physique. She took 16th at the women's physique, but 13th, I think 13th in this show. And like I said, she's a beautiful lady inside and out, a mother, a nurse. I like to say thank you for her service as a nurse, because, and I think, whatever she said she's done. I follow her on social media. She said she's done. She only did 2 shows for the season because she has her daughters. She wants to spend time with her kids before they start school, and that's understandable. That's you as a mother should focus more on your family. Competition you always compete next year, And I think she's a lovely lady. She's a great personality. I hope maybe sometime later we can do another interview. With some of these ladies I would love to meet in person. You know, and she was there at the show. She went with a lady that I did an interview with. That's Miss Liz Curtis, and I sent them little pictures from each of them, saying like, I told them, "Hello, beautifuls, and you are beautiful." And these are both beautiful ladies. We might see them competing against each other in the future. As you know, Liz just got a pro card just about a week or so ago at the USA's and Women's Physique. I think Liz is more of a physique competitor than she is a figure. She did with double dipping. She was doing physique and figure. And she, if you look at them, she's more of a physique competitor over figure. But like I said, I hope to see more of these ladies next year. I really want to do an interview with these ladies. I really get I really get a connection to them. And I like to see them do good. I really want to see them do good. I hope Daphne can come back next year. She does better. Whatever tweak she needs to make, make them. I think she might need to. She might need to do more masters shows. I think with physique, even though it's supposed to be alternative female bodybuilding, they're still looking for something. And I think the masters is probably better for her, or the plus shows. Liz, I hope whatever improvement she needs to make, she makes them come back. I think she might need to consider. I know this is just me giving my advice. She might need to consider skipping next year. It's just we hit into the big shows. You really there's a lot of work you need to do. But like I said, but I also want to give a shout out to a couple of guys who I follow. A couple of gentlemen who as I did interviews with their wives and respective spouses, and one Mr. Big Keith, and he competed at the Masters. He didn't do too good at the Masters, but he did a lot better at the Masters than he did at the Tampa. And I'm a big fan of Mr. Big Keith Williams. I'm like I said, I'm still planning to send him a little something for as condolences to the loss of his brother. This show, Tampa's a tough show. And a lot of guys, a lot of bodies. I have a lot of respect for him to come here and come here and put up a good fight. And I hope maybe I don't know if there's any men's bodybuilding at the Savannah. I hope we might do the Savannah. I think that probably either the master shows or smaller shows would be better for him. And I hope he does compete some more. But he's a great guy. I'm a big fan of him. Him and his wife. They're both wonderful people. Here we have is another lady who I did an interview with, and this is her husband, Mr. Charles the Dragon Curtis. He competed at 212. 212 is more for it's separate from men's open bodybuilding. It's more of the smaller guys. And who are 212 is that's the weight limit. No one over that. But I was talking with Elizabeth, and she said that they're gonna still make some improvements. Hoping maybe if I don't know if they got a 212 at the Savannah. And if he does Savannah, maybe he might get an opportunity to the Olympia. So like I said, I'd like to say congratulations to Mr. Charles the Dragon Curtis, and I hope to see more of him in the future. Now here we have I always like to talk about this, and it's like this. The women's bodybuilding division. One thing you need to do, there's a lot of women in the show, and there's some women who might need to really think about their choice in the women's bodybuilding. One thing is that there's some women who might need to make some tweaks here and there. I mean, whatever improvements you need to make, they should really. Anyway, as I was saying, there's some things that I think we strength need to do. As I was talking with some ladies, there's some ladies in the show that didn't do too well because the fact is they have a certain body type, some physiques that don't work for women's open division. They need, like I said, there was the 40 plus division for women's physique. There needs to be a master's division for women's bodybuilding. I think some women who probably do better in that class over doing open. And then here's the thing is, also I think the open, I think the masters should should get Olympia qualification. I mean, there's some women who just don't do as good. They have some things about them they need to really think about what they want to do in the future, you know. And this lady who I follow, who I'm fans of, and I think they might really consider changing their class, you know, maybe switching over to creating the master division. It's up to the Wings of Strength. They need to reach out to IFBB and start maybe adding some masters to certain shows, especially I think the bigger shows who can handle it, like the Tampa and Chicago, you know, or some shows added to some other shows. But I think it's about money and time. So that's the debate. It's about money and time. So anyway, this is just my thoughts and opinions of the Tampa Bay show. It's a pretty good show. 2 days, you know, I think maybe next year I would like to go see a show. Tampa, Florida's a lot closer to me, but I think if I ever do a show, my first show out, I might do something like the North Fork. Virginia's a lot closer to North Carolina than Florida, and you know, and I think I might think about getting myself a passport. You know, I might want to go to Toronto and maybe go see a show. There's my dear friend Tanner Hughes up there. She competes. And once, you know, whatever restrictions that I lifted from going to Canada are done, I would like to go see a show there, you know. But like I said, this was a great video I worked on. I know. Hope y'all like it. I hope y'all enjoy it. All respect to all the ladies in their divisions, all the guys in the divisions. You know, this is like the second last show for female bodybuilding for the cutoff before the Olympia. And, you know, they got Savannah coming up next month. Some of you ladies who are thinking about do the Savannah, you got a month to whatever improvement and tweaks you need to do. You have a month, so go ahead. You know, do your cheat meals. You know, enjoy your cheat meal, but get straight out the gate. Start working on it. You know, whatever improvements you need to do, go ahead and do them. And there's a good chance you might do a lot better at that show compared to the Tampa. Anyway, this is man all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.